Right, cool. I think, excuse me, we are just about live. Yes, we're live on, excuse me, Instagram, Facebook is now live. Cool. And we are live on YouTube. So, as always, sorry, I got some flu in my throat. I'm just trying to clear it. Bear with me. So, as always, we're going to give it a few minutes just to let a few of you people jump on, and then we'll get into it. Before we get going, got a few jumping on Instagram now. What's happening, gang? We got one on YouTube, a couple on Facebook. Guys, just someone leave me an emoji in the comments just to let me know that you can hear me and you can see me okay, please. And then we'll give it another 60 seconds and we will get going with today's live. I feel like it's been fucking ages since I've been live. And I was planning on doing it earlier, but if you guys have been watching my lives, you've been following me on socials, you know that we've had the fucking infamous BT Wi-Fi kept cutting out. It was an external fault. Give me a free month the other week, a week ago. They said it's all sorted now, Thomas. Like, that's my fucking full name. It's all sorted. We'll give you a free month as compensation. Sweet. 2 days after that, it fucking went out again. And then today, I was on a call with my mentor on Zoom, and it fucking cut out right towards the end of the call. So I've been back on the fucking blower to him, going sit down the phone, and they're sending an engineer out tomorrow. So I'm hoping just come back on. It was off for about half an hour. So I just fucking fucked off, went and walked Steve. I'm hoping it stays on throughout this live stream. Hopefully it will. So cool. Right. We'll get going very shortly. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's recently found me on Instagram or Facebook, who's messaged me. Please bear with me. I'm getting that many messages now from people. I literally cannot get back to everyone. Like, it's a bit frustrating. It's difficult, but I can't get back to everyone. So do bear with me, but I do appreciate you guys like sending me messages and stuff like that. So thank you. I will say if the messages are fucking stupid, you're not going to get a response. Come on. But if they are like asking for help or anything like that or thanking me, I will try my very best to get back to you. So, right. We're going to be speaking about 3 problems you will encounter when trying to improve your blood glucose control. We are going to get the party started very, very shortly. Excuse me. I'm going to hit record and then we will get into it. Right. Shall we record? Cool. Sorted. 3, 2, 1. Yes, squad. I changed it. I normally say team. We're saying squad today. Welcome to another episode of the Type 1 Movement Podcast. And in today's episode, I'm going to be speaking about 3 problems that you'll encounter when trying to improve your blood glucose control and your diabetes management. Before we get started, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app, as it really does help me reach more type 1 diabetics, positively impact our community. Like I always say, I run no paid advertisements off this. This podcast has now grown. It's been going for like 2.5, 3 years, and it's grown from you guys sharing, leaving reviews, word of mouth. And obviously me fucking delivering the podcast episodes as well in the lives. So I do appreciate all you guys. So thank you very much. The other thing is give it a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories or on Facebook. Tag me at type1_Tom or Tom Allison on Facebook so I can just reach out and say, hey, thanks for sharing the episode. I love it. I was speaking to my mentor before, actually, and I was like, I get people reaching out saying, Tom, I've binge listened to your podcast episodes and look at my control. I fucking love that. So please, 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 if you do something that I recommend in these podcast episodes and it gives you better control or improves your mindset or anything like that, please drop me a message and let me know. That's why I do these at the end of the day. So with that out of the way, just telling the guys on the live then, we've been having problems with BT over the past couple of weeks. It cut out today. I've come down on them like a fucking shit ton of bricks. So I'm hoping we're going to be cool on this live stream. Right, shall we dive straight into it? So, right, bit of a backstory. I have worked now with over 250 type 1 diabetics in the last 4 years of coaching type 1 solely. Before that, I was a personal trainer. For the last 10 years, I've been in the fitness industry, been a personal trainer. But I've helped and coached over 250 type 1s. In the last 18 months, we've had 38 type 1s come from our program, and they've achieved a HbA1c of 6.5% or below. So I've had a lot, being a type 1 myself, I get it, but I've had a lot of exposure and to different type 1s, what they struggle with, what the problems are. And I've broken it down into 3 things. And I'm going to share these 3 things with you, but then I'm also going to give you like ways to overcome these issues as well. Yeah, so I'm going to share these 3 things and I'm going to give you ways to overcome them. So the first main thing that I've come across, we're going fucking straight in here, balls deep, me and you team. First thing that I've come across, the problem that type 1s encounter when trying to improve their glucose control and their health is overwhelm. It's overwhelm. And I totally get this. And I've put some like categories of why and how to overcome it. So the main one with overwhelm is you might be like, excuse me, right, I'm fucking trying now. I'm going to commit my all to it. I'm going to improve my numbers. I'm going to improve my health. I'm no longer letting this fucking, my diabetes be a burden. I am going to control it. It's not going to control me. Then you sit yourself down and you're like, fuck, where do I start? Because there's a lot that goes into improving your control. It's like when I get messages from type 1 saying, hey, how do I improve my control? Fucking hell, have you got a year? Like, honestly, there's so much that goes into it. And this is what I've built my coaching program around. And all these podcast episodes, it's basically broken down into pieces on how to improve your control. So there is a lot that goes into improving blood glucose control. You can see this when you try and explain to a non-type 1 diabetic. You're trying to explain to a non-type 1 basically what blood glucose is, what insulin does, and they're like, all right, fuck. So there is a lot that goes into it, yeah? So that's the first thing that causes overwhelm. You're like, where the fuck do I start? There's that much that goes into it. The other thing is you're obviously unsure on where to start. And then the other thing is knowledge on the condition. Look, it is no shame. A bit of a dry mouth, so I'm going to keep drinking water. You have to bear with me. It is no shame. And I've spoke to many a type 1s and I'm like, look, what's your biggest struggle with your diabetes? And they're like, honestly, Tom, I don't understand it. I've not got the knowledge on it. That's no shame. That we've all been in that position. Yeah. So sometimes overwhelm can be caused by thinking there's a lot that goes into it. You don't know where to start. And the knowledge on the condition, you know that there's that much that goes into it, but your knowledge isn't as broad as sort of you think it should be, if that makes sense. So I'm going to tell you how to overcome this issue of feeling overwhelmed. This is the start. This is the start of how you overcome it. So what I want you to do is I want you to get all your numbers written down. Get all your numbers written down. So your last A1C, your average blood glucose, and your time in target range. Yeah. The reason that I say this, and this is something I do with all clients, is if you don't know where you're at, how the fuck do you know where you're going? If you don't know where you're at, how the fuck do you know where you're going? And as type 1s, we are very lucky that we have that much access to all these different numbers and data. Yes, I know it can be overwhelming, but I've just told you the main ones to focus on. We can see this, and data does not lie, and data is a good indication of how we are progressing when we start to set goals, which is the next thing, yeah? So we always have a saying, and that's what gets measured, gets managed. If you don't know your starting point, your starting numbers, you're not going to be able to set some goals and targets. And then the saying that I like is you're throwing shit at a wall and just hoping something sticks, yeah? So this is how to kind of subside and get control of this overwhelm, and it's a place to start. Get all your numbers, A1C, average blood glucose, time in range, write them down, and then set yourself some realistic goals and targets from those numbers. That's the first one, right? The second one, the second problem that you're probably going to encounter when you start to improve your blood glucose control is hypos. It's lows, right? And this happens because as we look, let's face it, if we're like, I'm going to improve my blood glucose control, we tend to improve our lifestyle as well. And under that comes improving how we're eating and increasing our activity levels or starting working out, right? What these things do is they'll increase your insulin sensitivity, meaning your insulin works better. This is really dominant on a weight loss journey as well. So, but we're sticking with hypos of a hierarchy sort of thing right now. So you experience more lows because you improve your lifestyle, you're working out, you're moving more, you're eating better. You're not eating like a knobhead anymore because you know that's a huge part of improving your blood glucose control. So you're getting more lows. First of all, one thing I want you guys to understand is this is a completely, all of these things actually, but this is a completely fucking normal part of the process when you want to improve your glucose control. It's normal. This is just feedback from your body saying, hey, something's working and then something needs adjusting, right? So this is how you overcome having so many hypos. This is also applicable when you want to lose weight You start to move more, you eat better, you create that calorie deficit. This is the fucking same thing that you need to do, because I get asked day in, day out at least once. This is the same thing that you need to do when you want to reduce your lows when you're on a weight loss journey as well. And it's this: go and test your fucking basal rate and insulin to carb ratios. I've got podcast episodes on how to do that. So we've decided that we want to improve our blood glucose control, but we're like, fuck, we feel overwhelmed. So to try and stop that overwhelm, we get all of our numbers, we write them down, we set some realistic targets of what we want to achieve in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Yeah. And then we start moving forward, but we're eating better, we're moving more, and then we get more fucking hypos and lows. So we're like, right, now I know I need to go in and fucking adjust something. So we go in, we test our basal rates, and then we test our carb ratios. They're the two things. The last one is a big one. This last problem, and I see this a lot, yeah, and I'm going to be fucking straight talking on this. The last problem is shiny object syndrome. I see this so much, and some of you might be like, no, this has been great for me, I don't agree, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm going to say is the truth. Shiny object syndrome. This means that you're on a journey to improving your control. Let's say you're on pens, MDI, and you see someone with a pump with good control. You're like, it's the fucking insulin pump. I knew it. I need an insulin pump to improve my control. Yeah. Let's say you're on finger pricks and you see someone with a Libra or Dexcom, and you're like, I need that, because that's the missing part of the puzzle to me, lowering my A1C, improving my control. I know it's that. That's what I need. Or you might be on a pump and you see someone in auto mode or control IQ, and you're like, that's doing it all for them. That's it. I want that. I want that. It's that auto mode. It's that control IQ. Or it might be simply you see someone eating a certain way and you're like, right, I need to eat the same way as them because they've got good control. Let me tell you this straight to the fucking point. It is, and I want you to fucking write this down. It is not the technology that we use as type 1 diabetics that allows us to have good control. It's the brains and the knowledge and the understanding of the condition behind it that actually allows these things to work correctly. All of this fucking technology that we have access to is like icing on a cake. If you make a cake and say it's a sponge cake, right? You make a cake and the sponge is fucking shit. It's burnt in places, it's crumbling, and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I like that because I've got a shit ton of ice in here and I'm just going to put it all over this cake. You put the icing on, it's all a fucking mess, it's sinking in. That's what using some of the technology that we have as type 1s will do if you don't have a solid foundation and a good understanding of the condition, right? So this is shiny object syndrome, thinking that with what you have right now, what you have access to right now, you cannot improve your control. So you need something else. You need something new. This is not the fucking case. Yeah. I have clients that have come into my program that are still on like MDI, pens. Some of them even tried a pump that I don't really fucking like it. Yeah. So they're on pens. Some of them even have finger pricks. You don't even have a Dexcom or a Libra. And they're still achieving A1Cs of around 6.5%. They're still achieving good average blood glucose levels. They're still improving their health. So I've got the data there from seeing from my program, knowing that it's not the technology, it's understanding the condition and knowing how to manage it. That's what makes these bits of technology so fucking great. Like I said, you've got the analogy there of the cake and the icing. That's the best way I can put it. Team, so we're going to do a quick recap. The 3 problems that you will encounter, more than likely, and I've seen time and time again from coaching over 250 type 1s, when trying to improve your blood glucose control. These are pretty normal as well. These are all normal. The first one is overwhelm, because there's a lot that goes into it. You're unsure on where to start. Maybe you don't feel you have as much knowledge on the condition as what you think you should have. How do you overcome this? Get all your numbers, write them down, set some realistic targets. Yeah. The next one is lows, a normal part of the process of improving your health, losing weight, like becoming healthy. Like I said, is hypos. It's a normal part of the process. So for this, you need to understand that you need to go in and you need to test your basal rate. Probably going to need to decrease it, and then move on to testing like your insulin to carb or your ratios. And the next one is this shiny object syndrome, thinking that the tools you have access to now aren't good enough for you to improve your blood glucose control. Yes, they fucking are. Yeah, yes, they are. And I've just told you an analogy for that. It's not the technology, but the brains behind it that make it so good. Yeah, team, that is it. If you got value from this episode, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app, as it really does help me reach more type 1 diabetics. And like I say, feel free to give it a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories or Facebook, tag me, reach out to me, let me know you got value from it. And I appreciate you listening today, gang. Until the next episode, have a great day. Peace. Cool. Right. Do we, sorry, proper dry throat then with that. Right. Do we have any questions, anyone? We got a few on Instagram, a few on Facebook. We have got a couple on YouTube. Guys watching, like, double tap. Cool. Right, go through Facebook. Dunk just getting ready for the Basil layer tea ready for tonight's test. Yes, mate. So Duncan's on my program. Been a couple of weeks now and he's absolutely smashing it. Majorly proud of you, mate. Keep going. Mick, do you have a video like this but for gaining weight with type 1? I have so much trouble gaining weight and it affects me daily. I do, buddy. I've got several podcasts about losing body fat and gaining muscle, gaining weight as a type 1 diabetic. So if you drop me a DM, pal, I'll send you the link to the podcast episode where I actually talk about gaining weight with that. Cool. Bernie, thank you. You're more than welcome. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a quick look through you guys on Instagram. Excuse me. We got a few emojis. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all. Sweet. Right. I'm excited to start this. Love it. Cool. Right, gang. Appreciate you all. And like I say, until the next live, I will say as well, if anyone has any questions, you don't just have to answer them on the live. Feel free to drop me a fucking DM. Might reach out. I'm always open to having a chat. So until the next live, which will hopefully be soon, if BT keep the fucking internet on. Have the fucking best day ever. Have a good one, team. Peace.